Hello, Flossie Benton Rogers here. Happy December. I'm going to read to you a couple of pages from Lord of Fire. She'd catch the demon tonight if it killed her. Garnet McKenna tugged together the edges of her jacket, jerking up the zipper to ward off the cold mist. She clamped her teeth to stop their chattering in the unseasonable autumn chill that had settled here in the deep Florida woods. Wet leaves from an earlier rain brushed against her cheek, making her appreciate the ball cap that protected her head. She moved with cat-like stealth along the faint, narrow tracks, using only the light of the full moon and night vision heightened by the drop of fey blood running through her veins. No high-tech goggles, not even a green-capped penlight meant to resemble a swirl of firefly in the dead of night. Not that she didn't have just such a penlight safely stowed in an inner pocket. She did, plus a couple of blades and a dainty revolver with decidedly undainty shells. Just the weapon to stop a low-life scum. She wouldn't fool around with spells or other witch-fey tools. Anyone who enslaved defenseless animal familiars deserved to be plugged with a .357. As she ducked beneath a low-hanging branch, a scurrying sound signaled a small animal off in the periphery, probably a raccoon or armadillo, possibly a night fey of some sort. Halting for a moment, she listened to the night. She heard no other noise to alarm her, nothing to bar her way or keep her from the task at hand. Bereft of a conscience, this particular demon didn't stop at kidnapping fey familiars. Boros got off on torturing them into subjugation. Garnet owed it to her friend Fern and the human world at large to send him straight to hell. A bullet wouldn't kill him, but it would incapacitate him long enough for her to bind and interrogate him. For too long the poacher had evaded her, shifting his operation around from place to place. She had missed him by an inch countless times. Finally, on a hot lead from a shadow informant, she knew where he'd be at tonight's witching hour. Only one otherworldly portal existed in this woodsy area, and the informant said Boros had put it to good use last night. Tonight marked the second opportunity of this month's potent full moon, and tomorrow the third and last. The demon needed its power to travel the dimensional passageway. Her stomach lurched at the memory of how he plucked away his target familiars from all they knew, dragging them into a dark, slithery dimension to be sold or traded, their freedom forfeited. Some even ended up back here on the human plane, but often vacant, lost, or unrecognizable. Garnet had rescued some of the unfortunates. Now she intended to put the monster behind the sleazy operation out of business. Lost in her thoughts, she ran up against something hard and springy, and a sharp point pricked the soft flesh of her thumb. She squeezed off the pain with her other hand. Barbed wire. She had already made it to the fence line and hadn't even realized it. Sucking in a deep breath, she cleared her mind to concentrate on the task at hand. She had to edge around the boundary to the north side of this large piece of private property to gain access to the portal. Then she'd hunker down in the bushes and wait on the demon Boros. Moving swiftly again, she cut a wide swath away from the metal fence. Snorting sounds came from within one of the corrals she had noted this morning. Horses and a few cattle had grazed within. Bearing round the corner to head north toward the portal, a splash of incandescent green appeared and then disappeared in front of her. Startled, she blinked and reached into her coat pocket for the revolver. The weapon lay cold and substantial in her hand. She stilled her body to a midnight silence. The eerie green reappeared and dashed around her body without spotlighting her. It formed a mysterious, elongated glow. She clamped down harder on the gun handle. Her mind tumbled over possibilities. The light couldn't be swamp gas, as it seemed to proceed purposefully. Its movement created a slight whirring sound. A will-o'-the-wisp? Somehow she thought not, but what was it? The presence darted behind her. Before she could turn, a warm, corporeal hand covered her own and relieved her of the weapon. Whirling around, she came face to face with something totally unexpected. Thank you for listening to an excerpt of Lord of Fire. Thank you to Rave Reviews Book Club. Happy December. Flossie Benton Rogers signing off.